Hey cookie creators and lovers alike, I'm Gabby, and today on the Cool Cookie Show, we're going to be making some beach bum cookies. For our beach bum collection, let's start off with our bathing suit. To pipe our edges, we'll be using a No. 1 Ateco tip, and with some 10-second consistency flooding icing, we'll be using a No. 4 Wilton tip. To help me pipe my edges more accurately, I'm going to use a food coloring marker to help me outline where I would like the top of the bathing suit to be. Now with a sharp tool or toothpick, go along and fill in any spaces and pop any bubbles. To give this bathing suit a little bit of character, I'm going to add some polka dots. Now before we go and add our piping detail, we'll let this cookie dry overnight to make sure our flooding surface is nice and hard and we don't crack it and wreck all of our hard work. Now with some piping consistency icing and a No. 1 Ateco tip, let's add some detail to our bathing suit. This suit's all done and ready to hit the beach. We could flood the surface of the cookie with a light brown, similar to the style that we use for our bathing suit. However, I want to get a little bit more creative. In this case, we'll be dunking our cookie into some sugar in order to give it the illusion of sand. For this technique, we'll be using some piping icing with an Ateco No. 1 tip. Also for this technique, we're going to pipe in little sections of the castle and then dip into the sugar. If we ice the entire castle before dipping the cookie, half of the icing will already be dry and our sprinkles aren't going to stick very well. You can also use your sharp tool or toothpick to help carve out any details once you've dunked in the sugar. Now that's one sweet looking castle. Let's give this about 6 to 12 hours to dry before going in with extra piping detail. Now with some piping icing and No. 1 Ateco tips, let's go in and add some detail. Now we'll glam it up with some seashells. Now we'll let this cookie dry for 6 to 12 hours before we go in and add some detail using a food coloring marker. We'll start with our little round sand dollars. Now let's add some detailing to our oyster shell. And last but not least, our starfish. Now that this sandcastle's done, it's time to sit back and enjoy the sun. For our sunglasses, I've gone ahead and made myself some guidelines using a food coloring marker. Looks good to me. Now let's give it about a half hour before we fill in our lenses. Before the black surface dries, use a white flooding icing to create the look of a highlight. Now we'll let our glasses fully dry. Thanks for tuning in to this week's episode of The Cool Cookie Show. If you liked this episode, give it a big thumbs up. Want to be a part of the creativity? Let me know what characters and shapes you'd like to see in the comments below. For more of my cookie creations, check out my channel, tune in every Tuesday, and don't forget to subscribe. Till next time, stay sweet!